Oh, yeah, Travis Tritt's coming in today. When is he coming in?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. What? Dude, we don't know anything about Travis Tritt.
Steve's a big fan.
We're not even going to lie to...
Steve's a big fan?
Yeah, Steve's a huge fan.
Will Steve be conducting the interview?
Yeah. Let's have Steve do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll be here. Steve.
I'm going to do my research.
You know something about Travis Tritt?
Yeah, I lived in Nashville for a while. I know country.
You lived in Nashville?
Oh, my God. You know how many truckers are just rolling their eyes right now? Like,
oh, goddamn, this is going to be a clusterfuck. I can see it happening now, goddamn. Travis Tritt's coming in, these fucking assholes won't know shit about him.
Travis don't deserve that. Don't deserve this kind of abuse.
I knows it.
I don't get this show at all. They play Yoki Oni, but they don't know who Travis Tritt is.
Travis did Hannity yesterday, so...
we did?
Was he good?
I didn't hear it, but I know he did it.
I would assume that Travis Tritt and Hannity's politics are pretty much in line.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Other.
Yeah, he's a good old boy.
He's a good old boy.
Yeah, exactly. He's one of these guys. I think he's originally from Georgia. He's married. He's got kids, but he's also one of these country guys.
What's like his big hit? His biggest hit ever?
Trouble. That's the Trouble.
What?
Dude, you have to know the
spelling
song.
in here.
All right, well, Trouble. I know you've heard it.
Spell it.
The board game.
Say
that's
exactly. You could just say it.
It's called Trouble, but
Pop-o-matic, pop the dice, pop a 6 and you move twice.
This is it?
This is it?
Yeah.
Hey Jude! Hey Jude! Na na na.
All right, let's listen to Travis Tritt.
Yeah.
Tell me what in the world you're doing L-O-N-E. Say hey, good L-O-O-K-I-N-G.
I don't recognize this at all.
No?
This is the biggest hit Travis Tritt has had?
This is a big hit.
What else? Anything else?
I'm trying to think.
Because there's got to be didn't he have like a crossover hit or something?
I can't think of the name of it. This is his new one.
Spell it.
All right, cool.
The new song's pretty good too. At least the one, this Girls Gone Wild song that's off the new one.
All right, right on. Travis Tritt coming in at 10 o'clock.
Well, it's nice. You're opening up your minds.
Open your mind. Big hit was Here's a Quarter.
Here's a Quarter?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah?
All right,
hear a little of that.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, I think I do know this one.
You say you were wrong to ever leave me alone, and now you're sorry, you're lonesome and scared, and you say you'd be happy if you could just come back home. Well, here's a quarter, call someone who cares.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Call someone who'll listen and might give a damn. Maybe one of your sorted.
This is the lighter song.
Yeah.
Ballad. Get the lighters out.
Around here handing me none of your line. Here's a quarter. Call someone who cares.
All right. Yeah. Now we're getting abused on the phone lines.
Why?
Here. Let's go to Mike in California. Mike, what's up?
Not much. I just want to let you guys know that if you guys don't know who Travis Tritt is, you guys are behind the times. Listen to the song. Quarter, call someone who cares.
We never said we didn't know who Travis Tritt was. Everyone knows who Travis Tritt is. We're just not as familiar with him as we probably should be before we conduct an interview with the man.
I know his name.
Steve C knows.
I know his name. That's about it.
Well, I just want to say I've been listening to you guys since, well,
all right.
Hey, thank you, Click. I don't know.
Thanks for your support. Okay. Well, Travis Tritt's coming in. Sunset Thomas is next. Adam Farrar is sitting in.
I've heard of Sunset Thomas.
And
sure.
And we're going to play this little thing from the old days.
She does that
P-O-R-O-N.
A-S-S-F-U-C-K. I was going for the same joke.
Yeah. And you were spelling quicker than me. The coffee wasn't kicking in.
Racing for the finish line. I love it.
Hold on.
Here's a quarter.
Call someone who cares.
Sounds kind of interesting.
Well, when we do it, it's stupid.
Here's more Travis Tritt.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Recognize this one. Pretty intro.
Born and I got her and torn from my mother before I was 2. What's a poor little fucker like me to do? Hit the streets, beat to multiple meats till my palms turning black and blue. And my heart over singing this song to you.
Wow, that's Sunset Thomas. Actually,
She's singing.
she's singing. All right.
I knew that wasn't Travis Tritt.
I know, it didn't.
Crazy.
It didn't go anywhere. Sorry. Sherman from Atlanta. Sherman.
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Hey.
Hey, I turned you on October the 5th, so I've been with you ever since you've been on XM. Travis Tritt lives here in Atlanta, and he shows up and does a lot of concerts, kind of impromptu. He will never play Here's a Quarter in concert.
Why?
Because it rains quarters. He'll get killed. It'll be like 1,000.
Jesus, I never thought of that. That's funny.
Wow.
You got to be at Cowboys in Atlanta at midnight with like 2,000 drunk rednecks, and somebody sings Here's a Quarter. It's rains quarters. He's been here
That's a great gag, man.
Yeah, be sure to ask him about that.
I definitely will. Cool. Thank you for helping us out with the interview.
That's funny.
Can you imagine? Yeah, it's a serious song. And
I'm going home and writing a song. Here's some pussy.
All you hear on the stage is playing.
Yeah, actually, you have to find that out somehow.
Yeah.
That there's a reason you shouldn't do the song any longer. All of a sudden you're playing it, and
You imagine walking off stage, the whole band's got covered with wells.
We got to have a meeting.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the set list.
Travis, I don't think we all play that quarter song no more.
But you think that's it?
Thank God the song's not called Here's a Brick.
that's then, whoosh, ow.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, I just got a word from Ben. Travis Tritt is stuck in traffic,
he's here now.
But now he's here.
Now he's here.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
He's here?
He just walked in.
We've been filling. Should we take a break and then we'll...
How funny would it be if he walks in and he's got
take a break.
payas running right down the side of his head?
All right, we'll take a quick break and we'll talk to Travis Tritt next.
All right.
He's got a whole posse and everything.
Oh, yeah.
This guy must be huge.
Girls Gone Wild, reality TV style. Just some miles and miles of those girls gone wild. Freaking hard, using daddy's credit card. Mama hollers, stop that time. Don't you know the girls gone wild?
I like it, Anthony. I like it a lot. Travis Tritt outside the studio, making his way in.
Yeah.
He's playing the House of Blues here in New York City tonight.
House of Blues.
House of Blues, yes.
Nice. Here he comes. Popping on in. There he is.
Hey, guys.
Travis Tritt,
How you doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
Doing great, man.
Yeah, got stuck in some of the city traffic. Huh?
Yeah, well, you're in New York. What can you expect?
That sucks.
Kind of the deal.
It really does.
It's really not much different than Atlanta, though. I'm from Atlanta.
Oh boy,
you know?
we got something coming.
You know,
we almost took a radio job down in Atlanta, and they were trying to convince us that Atlanta's just like New York City.
It really is, brother. In some respects, I mean,
we didn't see it. I got it. They took us to some redneck bars. Anthony and I, we've seen a lot in our years, and we were kind of scared.
Well, I think they call it like the New York of the South. And
That's
believe
exactly
me,
what they were telling
believe me, years ago when I first got into the music industry, everybody kept telling me, you need to move to Nashville. Which, at that time, Nashville had no sports teams whatsoever. They had no good restaurants. They're still working on that, they're trying to get that together. But it was just, I said, what in the world am I going to do up here,
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed at home, stayed in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And at least had decent sports and decent restaurants.
At least you had music, though, in Nashville, you know?
Yeah,
like,
well,
if you're going to Nashville, at least you got music.
Which, you know, the surprising thing, Music City, USA, and there's no places to go, or at least there weren't at that time, to go hear live music.
In Nashville?
Really anywhere. It was surprising, really surprising.
You would think, you know, the whole image you have in Nashville is
well,
every corner you're just...
Music City, USA,
yeah,
it's on every sign going into town, and...
we got to tell you, Atlanta has so much crazy stuff going on, too.
Oh, yeah.
It fascinates Anthony and I. It really does. We were down there interviewing, just really fast, maybe get your take on this whole Freaknik thing that happens.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I have to say is holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were stuck in traffic because 3 cars across the whole highway we were on were stopped, and people were dancing on the cars.
Yes.
And we're like, oh, boy.
I'm surprised they were just dancing on the cars.
This is how it's
yeah, we saw some stuff that might have looked like dancing.
Yeah, exactly.
This is how it was told to us. It's spring break for black colleges, and they go to Atlanta, and they'll just, you'll be on a road, a highway, and they'll just stop in the middle because they are feeling the music.
Yep.
And then they jump up on their cars, and they're dancing and stuff.
They're dancing around, and some of the dancing, it looked like guys were just having sex with girls.
Well,
right there
that's
on the
basically,
cars.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
This must be a few years back, though, because the fact is...
they toned it down?
No, they stopped it.
Wow, did they?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and they couldn't actually come in and you know, just say, we're just going to shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Georgia State Patrol, sitting on I-75, watching every single car that came into the state from any outside borders, you know, automatically, you know, if it's loaded up, they're going to pull them over, and probably there's somebody's going to jail before they ever even get to Atlanta. So they discourage people from coming in and doing that deal.
You got a tail light out, boy.
One of those good old boys.
You in a heap of trouble, boy.
Ain't nothing better than that nightstick coming out and cracking that taillight.
Yeah, it was a whole thing going on. The shopkeepers were boarding up their businesses, and they told us flat out, get out. You got like 2 days.
It. Everybody, I mean, you know, you think about the people that live there, you know, I mean, people coming through town and coming through their yards at all hours of the night, you know, and using their shrubbery for restrooms and you know, I mean, waking up in the morning, you know, and there's somebody having sex on your porch, you know. Just not fun. Not fun.
Absolutely not, man.
All right.
Well, it's great to be here, guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming. We really don't get that many big stars coming through here. We had Ozzy Osbourne came through, which was cool.
Oh, cool,
Ozzy's quite a character.
He is, man.
Yeah,
and we had Sunset Thomas today, Anthony.
Sunset Thomas. We had porn star Sunset Thomas.
Porn legend.
Man.
Sunset Thomas.
Last time I saw her, now this is a weird story. Last time I saw her, I was in Las Vegas about a year or so ago, and Carrot Top was doing a show out there.
Of course he was.
Carrot Top's doing a show. So I've known him for quite a few years, and call him up and you got to come out to the show tonight. So we go see the show. Afterwards, we go back in the dressing room, and there's this barrage of what looked like the circus had come to town. You know, of people coming down the hallway, and I start recognizing some. It's like, that looks like, although I wouldn't know really what he looks like, but that looks like that might be that guy Ron Jeremy right there. And then, you know, the whole crew, Sunset Thomas, the whole bunch, man. They were back there.
Ron Jeremy's, we've had him on the show a lot. He's a lot of fun.
Oh, what a trip, man.
Must have been the porn convention.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. I think they were just in town to see Carrot Top, which
really?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know what the association is there. I don't know what that's all about.
Maybe they like Carrot Top's buff body. I've never seen a guy that spends more time on his body than Carrot Top. That shouldn't have to.
No doubt.
Like, you're goddamn Carrot Top. Why do you have to be the strongest man in the world? How much arm strength do you need to hold up a toilet seat and make a joke about it? Jesus Christ.
He was sick of people making fun of him.
I guess so. You know, when you're Carrot Top, you gotta be able to
back.
kick some ass, I guess.
No doubt.
That's great.
No
I was looking through your bio a little bit, and first of all, a couple of things in common that I have in common. The divorce thing.
Yeah.
I saw that. But I saw it twice.
Yeah.
And anytime I see this, I gotta ask, How did you get suckered into getting married after one divorce?
Well, I got married the first time when I was just a kid. I was 18 years old, right out of high school.
Oof.
I got married more than anything else to get out of the house. And also to prove my father wrong, who said, "This is going to be a mistake, son." And it's like, well, I'll prove you wrong.
Oh,
well,
oops.
guess who was right?
Yeah.
He was. But I got out of that thing about 2 years into it, and then it was sort of a turn around on the rebound. I had just come out of that divorce, and I also had changed the way I made a living. I was working for a heating and air conditioning company up until that point.
That's the second thing we have in common.
Yeah. Did you do that?
Ductwork, man.
No kidding? Really?
Yeah, that's what I did up until 1994.
I'll be darned, man.
Attics, 200-degree attics.
Yeah,
man.
Oh, God, yeah.
Pumping units up there.
There you
ductwork.
go. There you go.
Cutting your hands on clinch collars.
Oh, yeah, I still got scars,
man,
all over
dude.
the place. Yeah.
Dude,
Everywhere.
Yeah. You just come home with your hands like chopped meat. It is just thankless work,
and that's
man.
because you chose not to suck cock.
Well, that's what Sunset Thomas...
Well, now we got to explain to Travis.
Sunset Thomas is in, and she said at one point she's eating ramen noodles and living on a mattress in some room somewhere.
Yes.
And...
She was at the crossroads of her life.
Yeah, crossroads of her life, and that's when she decided to go into the porn industry.
And Anthony, before that, said, well, I was doing the same thing.
I was eating ramen noodles and living in my car, but I didn't have the option of, sucking cock. Thank you. Opie put it so eloquently. I had to go and then decide I was going to have to work for a living. And got into
sucking cock. Started sounding like a good idea when you were in some of these attics.
Jesus Christ. When you have your dreams and stuff, because everybody does, and I'm sure you had your dreams of becoming a star with music. Yeah. I had mine too. I was in bands through my whole life, and working your ass off humping tin up in these attics.
That's a fact.
And you just have this, that there's got to be something else out there, that you look at your coworkers, a lot of them are cool guys, but you look and go, this guy is just cut out for this job.
Absolutely. He will never go any farther than this right here.
Right. This is his life. But and I don't want to sound like I have this overinflated self-image of my. But there was always something that said I am not meant to do this.
Oh yeah.
Until I get older, there's like a dream, and you want to do something else. Mine, I did always want to do radio or do something in music.
Yeah.
And. How did you get the break where you were able to get out of doing that?
After that first marriage ended, I decided, if I go out and try this thing now, and if I fall flat on my face, nobody is going to suffer but me. I'm the only one. So I figured, why not? As they say in Vegas, no balls, no blue chips. So it's like, go for it, give it all you got. And I quit my regular job. Went and took a gig playing in a club, just doing a solo acoustic thing, and I think the booking was for like a month, and after that I didn't know where the next paycheck was going to come from,
Yeah.
But it's like, you got to do that. You got to go out and give it a shot and try.
If all else fails, you're back in the attic.
There you go.
That's one thing they always said. Get yourself a trade, just in case. I understand. My mother was always saying that. I appreciate your dream and what you want to do, but get yourself a trade. It's like, thanks for the vote of confidence, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. Something to fall back on. That's it. You ever heard that?
You can do anything you want. Don't sell your tools. You can do anything.
Yeah, I still keep WD-40 in my snips.
But I went in, and they used to have Marlboro cigarettes used to have a talent contest years ago where they would go around from in all the major cities where they had this big concert tour, and they had all these different people in the country music world. I think at the time they had like the Judds and Randy Travis and Ronnie Millsap and different ones that would headline this concert, and they would do a talent competition in each city. And if you won that talent competition, you got to open for that band or that concert. And you had to send in a professional tape. I had no money. I had no connections to anybody with a professional, recording studio. But I did have a friend of mine who was an electrician. And he was wiring up a home studio for a guy. And he said, listen, he called me one day and said, I think I can probably get you some free studio time as a favor to me.
And it's something how things work out.
I go in and I record this thing. I just did like 3 songs that I had written, and as it turned out, the guy who was having the studio done at his house was a vice president for Warner Brothers Records at the time, and he'd been working Madonna and Prince Records and Rod Stewart and the Doobie Brothers and ZZ Top and you name it, and he's got all these gold and platinum records hanging on the wall. And I walked in, and he came in about the second song in as I was recording, and when I got done in the control room, I walked back in the control room, and he said, "Where have you been all my life?" And
and you said, "Uh-oh."
Yeah. One of those guys. He might be in the porn industry. No, it was one of those situations where, he said, I really think you could maybe do something and go somewhere, and we ended up recording a little album in that studio over the course of the next year, and he took it out to L.A. and played it for the executives at Warner Brothers, and the rest was sort of history.
Isn't it amazing how stuff like that works out?
Yeah, man, it's just, one of those, it's truly a lucky break.
Right place, right time.
Right place, right time.
Did you take care of that guy?
Yeah.
Right?
He made a lot of money.
I can imagine.
He made a lot of money.
Who, the electrician?
No.
The guy that hooked you up.
The guy that hooked me up, yeah, I took care of him,
You had
too.
to take care of him somehow.
Yeah, I took care of him, too, yeah.
He's putting flex on clinch collars in Cincinnati right now. Goddamn Travis Tritt.
He's got my old job. Bought me this stinking X-Lex watch. She's supposed to take care of me.
Here's you come on the radio, son of a... God damn, that's something. We got a call earlier from somebody that said you don't do the Quarters song live.
Oh yeah, no, I do.
You do.
I had to threaten not to do it. And we actually have an announcement now every night before the show. Actually, Larry the Cable Guy recorded it for me, and he came out on the road and did several shows with us a few years back. But it's one of those things. I was on stage when I first started doing Here's a Quarter, Call Someone Who Cares. Somebody got the bright idea that the thing to do would be to pitch quarters up on the stage.
What is this, Rocky Horror, you freaks?
It was the electrician.
Yeah, it was the electrician trying to beam you.
The weird thing is that apparently this is something that's kind of gone on. I was talking to some of the guys from Leonard Skinner, Gary Rosling's a good friend of mine. And he told me that years ago when Skinner had a song called Give Me Back My Bullets, which was basically talking about give me back my bullets on the radio, on the chart. If you're moving up the chart, that's number 5 with a bullet. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what the song was talking about. But they came in and people thought it was talking about live ammunition, which they brought to concerts and then threw up onto the stage.
What a madman.
Can you believe that? And somewhere that same mentality transferred over into this song. And when it first started out, it was actually kind of cool because we were playing little small clubs and stuff. It wasn't anything really, really huge. If you threw from the back of the room, that's probably about 50 feet. So, it's not a big deal.
Right.
But, you start playing big arenas and stuff, you try to get a quarter from third row balcony to the stage. You've got to hurl that son of a gun, So I was on stage one night in Bristol, Tennessee, and playing a big arena up there, and somebody threw one. I don't know where it came from, but I got hit just above the left eyebrow, and I thought I'd been shot. I mean, it just literally, it was like one of those things, I could picture my head going back. It looked like JFK in the Zapruder film, And I immediately, I thought, what in the hell was that? And I looked down at the front of my guitar, and there's just blood just, gushing down the front of my guitar.
Wow.
And so I turned around, I ran back to the drum riser, and I grabbed a towel, and I put it up on my head. I thought, well, okay, I'm going to be all right. This is going to stop any second.
Consummate professional. Must go on.
I'm thinking I'll walk back up there and start singing. Well, you can't stop the blood. And I walked back up to the microphone, and now I'm starting to get dizzy. It ended up stopping the show, and for a while I thought, how are we going to deal with this? And this is one of the biggest hits of my career at that point, and at the very beginning, how am I going
out in a suit of armor playing the song? So wearing riot gear, Kevlar,
put up the chicken wire like in the Blues Brothers movie.
There you go. Right. That's it, man. But we started. My manager at the time told me, he said, let's try making an announcement, basically just letting people know that, you know.
Oh, that never works.
Because it's such a huge song. It's not one of your songs that you could just, we just won't play it anymore.
Yeah.
Like a B-side or something.
Exactly.
You know? It's one of those that people are going to want to hear.
Yeah. So, you know, we basically just put the word out that, okay, look, if that does happen again, obviously it stops a show. And, you know, really you people are the ones screwing yourselves because, you know, I've already gotten paid, so it doesn't make any difference, you know. But it actually did work, surprisingly enough.
We do a lot of stuff in front of our fans, and when we have to make these silly announcements,
different fans,
and the manager of the club or the place we're at is always begging us, no, you have to tell them this, and as soon as we tell them, it just gets worse.
If we told our audience, people, please keep breathing, they'd all hold their breath till they drop dead.
They really
That
would.
is the type of audience we have.
That's the difference in audiences.
Just dedicated to the old F you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they don't care.
I was surprised actually that it did work, but I was glad that it did because we've been able to do the song ever since. You know?
Yeah, but country's a way different audience. It's people from 8 years old to 80 years old that are in these country shows.
Yeah, but they all have quarters.
When's the last time you saw an 80-year-old woman heave a quarter from the third balcony?
Did you guys collect a lot of money though?
Wrap it up in our pants.
In the early days?
That was the cool thing.
You got the beer money, right?
The band and the crew would go out, you know, and take the money, rake the money up off the stage every night, and buy either, you know, beer for the bus, or they'd buy like video games for the bus, or, you know, whatever. You know, Sunset Thomas videos, you know, whatever it may be, that kind of thing.
Did you ever go through a point where you were still working for a living, but you heard yourself maybe on the radio, or had you cut?
You know, I had pretty much gotten completely out of it at that point, but it was, I still remember the first time I ever heard myself on the radio, man. It was just, and to this day, it's still something that, quite frankly, I can tell you everywhere I was, exactly where I was when I heard any of my singles on the radio the first time.
Really?
Because there's still something new about that, you know? It's just the greatest feeling in the world to be able to know that was something. I mean, when I was a kid growing up, you know, listening to the radio, and that was a dream.
That was making it.
Yeah,
you know,
I never ever thought I would ever be amongst those people, you know. I never thought I would ever even get a chance to meet half of these people, and much less get played on the radio. So for me, it's kind of like I feel like I won the lottery every day. You know, I'm a lucky guy, and it's it all goes back to that first time, man. I remember, you know, the band and I, we were going up to do a showcase in Nashville. We'd all packed into like 2 rental vans that we had, panel trucks that we had rented. And we were driving back from Nashville, and we just about had lost the radio station there, just about completely faded out. But they came on and said, and coming up next, that new single from new country artist Travis Tritt. And we pulled the vans over on the side of the road, on the side of the interstate, and sat there and waited for them to play the song. And it was just like, this is as good as it gets.
That's
you know,
You're on the road. You're playing music. It's on the radio.
That's it.
Yeah. Were you humping your own gear at the time, too?
Oh yeah, man, doing everything. You know, it's funny because when we hire people now, you know, and regardless of whatever job it is in my organization, I tell them, I say, you know, there's not a single thing that you guys, that I'm going to hire you guys to do or expect you to do that I haven't done physically at some point.
Rig your own lighting.
Oh,
and everything.
yeah, man. Run your own soundboard, rig your own lighting, schlep your equipment in and out of the place.
It gives
you know,
a greater appreciation for what the other guys are doing nowadays.
Absolutely, man.
You
Absolutely.
don't treat them like shit when
That's
you've
a
done
fact.
it yourself.
Ant's got a similar story about hearing himself on the radio the first time.
Yeah,
because you guys do have a lot in common.
I always loved radio. Did a lot of song parodies with my band that I had years ago, and they'd be played on the radio. And I used to go on Opie's show. He was on BAB out on Long Island. And the morning guy.
Yeah, we started working together, but I couldn't get him, aboard yet. So he was like,
so I was still up in the attics, knocking tin and stuff.
Right.
So for some reason, the morning show guy would take Opie's show, like funny parts of Opie's show, and play them on his show.
Really?
It's like give him some time. You know, notorious radio guys. They're all a bunch of pricks. Just whatever they could get, that'll burn another 5 minutes.
And he would never say where it
never
came
give
from.
credit for it or anything.
Oh.
So this was like one of my song parodies, and I hear it pick up in the morning. I'm under something, just probably tarring of this fixture that's going through a rooftop, and it's just I'm in hell, and I hear myself on the radio, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. No recognition, no name that it was me, nothing.
Oh,
he just comes on, all right, we'll be back after this. Goes to commercial.
Yeah. My God.
I'm sitting there cut up, covered with tar, just sitting there going,
with a tear in his eye.
I'm like, why isn't this as cool as I imagined it would have been? Thank God things from that point on got a little better.
Oh, thank goodness. A little different than Travis's story.
You get a kick in the ass every so often. I think it just gives you a better character.
Well, I think that's how I think we become better people, better performers.
People that are handed the whole thing on a silver platter, or they're a created personality.
Yeah.
They're bound for failure. It's going to be very short-lived, and they're not going to be able to handle it well.
They're
not going to work with their people well. You can't be treating the people like crap. You can't, be a prima donna all the time. Sometimes these sons of bitches have to...
Gotta keep them in line.
Not about the evidence. I get carried away like a Mr. Humble here. But, it just makes it better. It makes it easier to work with people.
Yeah, I think, there's so many people...
When you work for a living.
In this industry especially, there's so many people that the only thing they know is they want to go to Nashville or wherever, they want to go to Los Angeles, they want to go to New York, and they want to be a star.
Right.
And that's just pretty much as far as the dream goes, and it's not really well thought out, and it's not, they don't know anything beyond that. And I think that's where a lot of people, you get, especially in our industry, you get a lot of people that come in, and you have people at record labels or whatever in all their infinite wisdom that try to basically say, you need to do this, you need to dress like this, you need to sing like this, you only need to do these type of songs, blah, 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 blah. And so many of these people sort of go along with that because they don't really know any better.
Well, it must be rough, though, early on in your career when you really are close to that making it point, and you're like, I might not want to screw this up by telling this guy no, Did you have to deal with...
I did. When I first started out, I had the long hair, my hair was down, I looked like Greg Allman, it was a long hair thing, and all the rest of the guys, I came out in 1989 with Garth Brooks, Clint Black, Alan Jackson, Vince Gill, all these guys, clean-cut guys, wearing the pressed jeans, look like, come out of a, cowboy catalog, and me, I looked like, something out of a biker bar. I had long hair, wore black leather, completely different than any of those guys. And I had a lot of grief from a lot of record executives and stuff that said, we need to do this, we need to cut your hair, we need to blah, 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 blah. And I resisted it for a long time, but at the same time, you're young, you're new, and you don't want to rock the boat too much. You're kind of glad you finally got an in.
Right.
You don't want to screw it up. So I sort of went along with it. I went in and got a haircut, did that whole program.
Think you're going to be back in that attic going, what did I do?
Oh, my God, man.
What did I do?
I was so ashamed of myself because I compromised, at that point. And... after the first album hit and we had we had success and we had like platinum albums happening and that sort of thing, then you can come back in and say, okay, now I'm going to start calling some shots.
Yeah, here's the way it's going to go.
And that's sort of been where I've come from. And
I'd make him cut his hair.
I would have, but he was bald.
Did you ever meet any of these legends that were probably heroes of yours?
Oh, God, man. I've been so lucky. I've had a chance not only to meet them, but I've had a chance to work with them.
Well, now you're one of their peers, and you probably think, these guys are the legends. But now you're looked at as one of their peers. That must freak you out.
It's really, I pinch myself, man, because the fact is that, growing up, guys like Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, Hank Williams Jr., Merle Haggard, George Jones, Ray Charles, huge fans of all these guys. And I've had a chance to work with, meet, record with, do movies with all of these guys.
Yeah.
And it was just... it's like a dream come true. The last one was Ray Charles. I for years, I wanted to work with Ray because more than anybody else, I thought he really affected the way that I sing. What comes out of my mouth when I sing was more influenced by Ray Charles than by anybody. And I always wanted to work with him and came like this close, numerous times. And for whatever reason, at the last second, our schedules would screw things up, and it just never happened. We finally, about almost 3 years ago now, got an opportunity to work together to do a special together for country music television. And I went out to his studio in Los Angeles, and the two of us just really hit it off. We came back in, we did this 1-hour concert, worked together. And then the really cool thing was after it was all over with, I was just I was really happy that everything had happened the way that it did. And I'm getting ready to leave, and one of his tour managers came up to me and said, "Listen, Ray wants to see you back in the dressing room." And I go back in the dressing room, and he says, "Listen," he said, "I'm going to give you all my phone numbers." He said, "I want you to call me." And I said, "Well, that's very nice. I appreciate it." And he said, No, you don't understand." He said, "I'm not the kind of guy that says call me and then says, I hope he doesn't. I want you to really call me." And so we did. We became really good friends. We stayed in touch. We called each other, and talked to each other at least a couple times a month. He would fly out to shows from time to time to see me play, and it's just a great thing. I mean, I said I could die tomorrow a happy guy. I got to work with everybody I ever wanted to.
What'd you think of the movie?
Man, I thought it was fabulous. The first time I saw it, as a matter of fact, we were doing a concert for a foundation that Ray had started to raise money for Morehouse College down in Atlanta. And Bill Cosby hosted this thing in L.A., and I got to be a part of that. And we were one of the first to see the film. And I said right off the bat, I said, if Jamie Foxx doesn't win an Oscar for this, something's wrong. And, of course, he did. I was really, really thrilled. He got the whole essence of Ray down, everything.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
At the expense of his sanity from the acceptance speeches I've seen him make. Jamie Foxx, great job, but you're insane. Talks to his grandmother at night. I don't know the half of it.
They yelled, "Cut! Step out of character! Step out of the character!"
Kind of a crazy person.
Hey, the phones are jammed. We should get a few people on the line with Travis Tritt here before we get out of here. Bubba, make it fast. You're on with Travis Tritt.
I just wanted to ask how it was playing with B.B. King and all them in the Blues Brothers 2000.
Oh, that was really cool. You know what? I got to do that thing. We went up to Canada a few years ago and shot that film, and getting to be on stage with people like Eric Clapton and just all the greats that were in that film. Man, it was like a who's who of.
Can you imagine playing with Eric Clapton?
Yeah.
You're on stage going, "Oh God, don't look at me, don't look at me."
I was standing over in the guitar section of this big band for the Blues Brothers 2000 movie, and which I thought the best part of that movie was the music. The script I think was a little lacking, but the guitar section, I'm standing between Jimmy Vaughn and Eric Clapton. And, we've got Billy Preston behind us playing keyboards, and B.B. King's over here, and Bo Diddley, and, God, just a...
and Yoko Ono.
Oh, God, no, please. Yoko didn't... Thank God Yoko didn't ruin that moment.
Thank God.
We started the show with this whole thing with Yoko, so just bring it all back around.
What movie is that from?
Rock and Roll Circus. You ever see that with the Rolling Stones?
No, I missed that one.
And for some reason, Clapton's playing, the Stones, they're all on stage together. The drummer
John
from
Lennon,
from Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Jean-Luc, help us here.
Fiddle guy,
yeah.
Jean-Luc Ponty,
the violinist.
He's playing, and it's just a moment in history.
Yeah, a nice jam.
A nice jam going, and Yoko pops up to the mic and just starts caterwauling into this thing. And
no.
It's ruining the moment in life.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so thank God ruin your moment.
Thank God.
Yes.
It's frightening. It's like a woman taking off her clothes and, oh my God, it's a penis. It's just
that's pretty much it. If you missed it, the replay is going to start soon. You can hear what we were talking about. But first, let's go to Art in Florida. Art.
Hey, how you guys doing? Hey, Travis.
Hey, Art. What's happening, brother?
No, I want to hear about the outlaw days. Like you said, after you grew your hair back, weren't you and Alan Jackson fixing to have a fight?
No, man. Where'd you get that?
I don't know.
Something back when I was younger, I remember I thought you and Alan Jackson were going at it back then or something.
No.
Your outlaw days.
No, never. Alan and I never had any problems whatsoever.
No big east of the Mississippi, west of the Mississippi battle.
No,
you know.
You might.
Oh, okay.
You might.
Oops, sorry, go ahead.
You might be thinking about the Billy Ray Cyrus controversy. That's what you're thinking about. After Billy Ray Cyrus came out with that big, huge record, which was, being played everywhere ad nauseum.
Achy, breaky heart.
Achy, breaky heart. And I came out and basically said at the time that I didn't care for the song, and boy,
someone had to say it.
Someone had to say it.
I was working in rock radio and they made us play it.
Really?
Wow. Thinking this was going to be that
crossover,
the big crossover
things. It was awful.
It was just one of those things where it struck me right off the bat as being exactly what it was, which was kind of a novelty record, and God forbid somebody come out and say that at the time, but I did, and I said it unfortunately right at the time when it was, at its hottest point, so, the press took that and ran with it, and, but I've always been the kind of person that, I say what I think, and, let the chips fall where they fall.
That's it.
Travis, we only have a minute left in the show.
Yeah.
We're on like this master computer, so in less than a minute, they're just going to cut the show off. It's really strange. So we want to get some plugs in here. The new CD's My Honky Tonk History, right?
Yes.
And you're playing the House of Blues tonight, right here in New York City.
Actually playing B.B. King's tonight.
I'm sorry, why did I say House of Blues? B.B. King's. I'm sorry.
B.B. King's, that's
it. B.B. King's Blues Club here in New York tonight. And tomorrow you're going to be on Showbiz tonight on CNN?
That's correct. Doing that tomorrow. And doing actually the jammies after this thing is over tonight. We're going to be jamming with some people and having a good time.
Fancy yourself a poker player, I hear?
Oh, man. I enjoy it. I don't know that I'm that good at it, but I have a ball playing.
I've been playing online a lot, getting in trouble. Yeah, I love it. I want to play in some of the tournaments. It's nice when you're a celebrity.
You got to do it.
Playing some of those.
I want to thank Adam Ferrara for stopping on by,
Adam,
too.
thank you so much.
They're giving us the cut sign. So AdamFerrara.com. Travis Tritt, thank you so much.
My pleasure, guys.
That was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Thank you.